Is Tony Perkins, who is with us right now. Tony, welcome to the news flow. Live action news.
Good morning.
All happening. I want to get straight at this. You're a man of God. I think of you as a Christian. You're a Christian man. How do you feel when you see some of the deportees who have been living in America for a long time? They've not committed a crime. They may have been brought here as children, and now they're deported. I know this is a small proportion of the deportees that we've seen recently, but I want you to tell us, how do you feel, as a man of God, how do you feel about those people being kicked out of the country?
Well, there's two ways that you look at this. You look at it from a personal standpoint in that you do have empathy and you're concerned. You want to work through the policies so that we have an equitable immigration policy. But then you also look at the law and what the law says, in that as a nation of laws, we have to abide by the law. Now, you're speaking of the DREAM Act. Yeah. I mean, what's happening here is we're waking up from a nightmare of 8 years of lawlessness. And essentially what's happened is we had, you could put it in the context like this. You had a sheriff who decided not to enforce trespassing laws. All of a sudden you had all these cases of trespassing. Then the people get upset. They hire a new sheriff who is enforcing trespassing. That's what we have. We're a nation of laws. Now, when we look at these particular cases of some innocent people, yes, it is heartbreaking. We've got to figure out a way to work through this, but appropriately through the law. Right now, the law's clear, and we've got to be a nation that is guided by law. I
want to talk to you about the CEOs from retailers who are meeting now with President Trump in the White House. You say that if a CEO of any company takes a political position, ultimately they lose support in the marketplace, lose political support, and lose the support of their employees. And your example is Target. Take us through it, please.
Right. Well, Target decided to unilaterally weigh in on these crazy bathroom policies, and they decided they wanted to force their customers to have to use the restroom and changing room, men with men, men with women, women with stocks. While you've just pointed out the stock market has continued to go up, retailers are actually doing better. They've actually seen a decline. Their stock has gone from about $85 down to about $65. They've lost $10 billion in assets. What's happening? They had to cancel two major projects that they had on the drawing boards. And quite frankly, if you want to see a live rendition of CSI, you got a good chance if you go to Target, because increasingly you've had crime scenes in their restrooms and in their changing rooms.
Do you think it would be the other way around if a CEO of any corporation came out full-throated for Donald Trump, President Trump? You think that the would go up and that CEO would receive a lot of support?
Well, I mean, there's incidents of that. I mean, you saw a few years ago when Chick-fil-A weighed in and took a stand for natural marriage, and they had overwhelming support from their consumer base. Here's what I advocate. Look, if you make widgets, make widgets. Don't get involved in the culture wars. CEOs of these major corporations and retailers should do what they're created to do, what their stockholders want them to do, and that is do business. Leave the culture issues to those who do culture issues.
That's true.
We're doing quite fine.
But so many of them are bending to the pressure which is being applied to them. There's a whole string of retailers who won't carry Trump products.
Well, what's happening here, Stuart, is that the left, who's lost control of the levers of government, they had Obama and his pen and phone to do all of this. They've lost. They can't win elections, and so they're squeezing corporate America. We saw it in North Carolina. We're seeing it. They're trying to do it in Texas. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to leverage influence with the corporate boardroom. I'm just saying what you see with Target is that there is pushback and there is liability for these corporate CEOs who want to side with the loud liberal activists. They need to just do business and allow others to deal with these cultural and social issues.
Well said, Tony.